Okay, hello. My name is Jazil Gomez and I'll be presenting Traducción Unime 2019 as a final project on ICT. Okay, first of all, you need to know the objectives of my study and presentation, which are provide training for the students to facilitate the learning process in PBWorks and Blogger. Then provide audiovisual material to the students regarding PBWorks and Blogger, and then provide clear instructions for the students so they can carry out the activities in PBWorks and Blogger. The context of my study was basically it is basically carried out at the Universidad Metropolitana, which is located in Caracas in Venezuela. It is important to mention that this is a private university which has around 5,000 students, and the careers that are taught as undergraduate programs, and it also has postgraduate programs. They range from modern languages, education, engineering, which entails civil engineer, chemical engineer, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, production engineering and systems engineer, law, liberal studies, economics, and so on. And regarding the technology, it is important to mention that the whole university has Wi-Fi, including Sandeco, which is an extension of the university. And all the classrooms have computers. Some classrooms even have smart TVs and smart whiteboards. And there are also laboratories which have around 30 computers. And all the classrooms have as well video beams, which is very important. Now, regarding the students' technological background, we can say that since this is a private university, this is something that, well, the students that attend to this university have the means, most of them, to get the latest technology. Therefore, they're used to many technological platforms and devices. They know how to use Windows, Macs, or Linux. They know how to use tablets, and they have smartphones. And regarding the internet, they know how to use Google, social media, Google Drive, the whole suite of Google Drive, Edmodo, Facebook, blogs, YouTube, the email, of course. They know how to use PowerPoint, Word and Pages, Excel and Numbers, WordPress, and so on. And it is also important to mention that the students at the university have a very good level of English. Depending on their career, all of the students need to take English, and if they pass the initial test, then they need to take other subjects in English or other languages in order to comply with the curriculum of their career. Okay, regarding previous scientific investigations, we can say that regarding the first investigation was carried out by John Paul Ovidius. He carried out a qualitative investigation, and it's called Experiences, Perceptions, and Attitudes on ICT Integration, a case study among novice and experienced language teachers in the Philippines in 2016. In this investigation, they needed to have a novice and experienced language teacher, and in the end, this research revealed that the experiences, perceptions, and attitudes of the subjects uncover their limited know-how about ICT use, and at the same time the optimism they have about the future of ICT in language teacher. Um, the people who collaborated in this research, they believe that the problems need to have direct solution due to the lack of computers and internet connection in the Philippines. The integration of ICT in language teaching is very difficult. So they think that they need to invest more on this part in all educational centers like schools and university. And this investigation was carried out in 2016. The other investigation was carried out by Mafraga and Moremi. They carried out the investigation called Integrating Information and Communication Technology in English Language Teaching, a case study of selected junior secondary schools in Botswana in 2017. The objective of this research was based on finding out how the teachers of ELT use ICT in their classes. The results show that some teachers lack ICT skills, or in other words, like they say, the teacher's knowledge on ICT is not par with their qualifications and experience in the field. It is also important to mention that Botswana does not have the proper ICT infrastructure. Therefore, it is very complicated to integrate ICT in ELT. Regarding the last investigation carried out by Papadima, Giannikas, and Constantino, they carried out the investigation ICT and EFL, the global effect of new technologies in the language classroom, was carried out in 2017. The objective of this research was to give an overview on how far the development of integration of ICT in language teaching has come, and they found out that the authors agreed that there are still some teachers who are reluctant to apply ICT in their ELT classes. As you can see, these whole investigations are related. They relate in one thing, which is that the professors do not have the proper training in ICT, and therefore it is very difficult to integrate ICT and ELT, and of course, notwithstanding with the fact that it is not invested enough in educational centers, with the proper ICT infrastructure. Okay, the type of study is based on a descriptive approach because the population is described as well as the subject to be studied, which in this case is the implementation of two platforms, which is PBWorks and Blogger, in the subject of Iniciación a la Traducción or Initiation to Translation. Okay, regarding the procedure, it was thought that at the beginning the students of the career of modern languages need to first have two activities in order to see if the students know how to use the platforms of PBWorks and Blogger. They need to post one welcome message as an example. Once the professor sees that they know how to use the tools, then they need to carry out the first part of the activity, which is they have to in the first part they have to investigate on vocabulary regarding translation, traductology, concepts, what is a translator, what is bilingualism, the differences between a translator and a bilingual person, the competences that each of these two people have, and translating competence. They have to create another page and has to be called Unit 1, and then each student will have to post a brief comment with a quote, and of course following the ACA rules. Once they do this, then they have to do the second part of the instructions, which is they have to do it on Blogger, and they have to choose, of course, template, colors, fonts, layout, and add a picture of them. And they have to answer these questions in the same order. For example, translation and traductology, or the science, art, what do the others say regarding that topic, why do we translate and for whom, what is bilingualism, could a bilingual person be considered a translator, why or why not, they have to explain, and which competences should a translator have in order to produce a translation of good quality. Once they finish, they have to share their links and paste them on group of week 1 on Edmodo. And before we go to the conclusion, let me show you how it looks. This is, let me go to the homepage. No, sorry. Okay, this is the front page of Traducción Unimed 2017. Here are some witches. Here's Unit 1. As you can see now, there are that the instructions are very clear with the identification, the deadline, and so on. I added also some Giphies because it is also important to be part with the new technology and the new tools that are in the market at the moment, because that way you can be more approachable to the student. And here's the second part of the instructions, which is regarding Unit 1. Here's the description, the instructions, and I also added another Giphy, which if it is in slang, as you can see, but it is related to the core of the subject, which is that they have to learn. And this is a very important part because they will acquire the basic and the fundamental theory of translation. Okay, so as a conclusion, it is important to mention that this is a pilot study. It hasn't been carried out yet. I need to have permission and approval from the School of Modern Languages in order to put in practice these two activities, and once I do that, or once I get the approval, I will be able to put this in practice and then see if depending on the results, if it is possible, then put it in practice in other subjects and even apply some of the other tools that we saw in ICT in the master's program of English as a foreign language. What else? I was able to see that this subject, iniciación a la traducción or initiation to translation, can be taught using different technological tools like wikis and blogs, besides using Edmodo and Google Drive. Because on this subject, I use Edmodo, I teach this subject, and I post the material by weeks. And the material includes the instructions, reading material, and even audiovisual material. So if they have to work in groups, then I create subgroups on Edmodo, and if they have to, for example, write an essay, then they have to do it on a Google Docs document. This tool allows me to see who has worked and who hasn't in that particular activity, and therefore it is fair for the rest of the students in order to put the grade of the one who actually worked. And basically, well, it's those are the tools that are used in this subject. And if I put in practice these two new tools, PBWorks and Blogger, then the students will be able to improve competences like critical thinking, decision making, handling of dynamic situations, and technological skills, which is the most important because technology is something that is not going away for a very long time. So we have to prepare them for the future. And here are my references that I use in my paper and in this presentation. Thank you very much. Here's my contact info in case you have any question. Thank you and see you next time.